It's simple. You just walk up, pick a class, get spawned to a random location, and boom. Magic. Hey everyone, this is Syntax, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make your own working class selection system with random spawns. Let's get into it. Wait, before we get started, I just want to take a second to thank everyone who's been supporting me, who's been subscribing, who's been liking, who's been commenting, because over the weekend we hit 2,500 subscribers. At the time of recording, I'm actually at 2,535 because I was in the mountains doing a team retreat with the cross-country boys, getting some good training in, but I am back now, and we hit 2,500 subs, and it's been absolutely ridiculous. The amount of support I'm getting, the amount I'm growing is just something that I have never been able to comprehend, and I will never be able to comprehend because it's been absolutely insane. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support. 2,500 subs, ridiculous. So yeah, I guess just enjoy the video. Thank you. For this particular design, you're going to need 5 different devices: buttons, teleporters / rifts, triggers, random number generators, and item granters. So just go ahead and grab however many classes you want of those. First thing I did was set up different buttons for my different classes. As you can see, they also have their little color correspondence there. If we look at the settings of the buttons, time can trigger is set to infinite, delay and reset delay is set to none, trigger sound enabled, and it's enabled at game start. Now the interaction text is of course the name of the class. You wouldn't want your name to be class 1, you'd want it to actually name it something that has to do with the map, but I just have a class 1 here. Turn the visibility off and make the interaction radius 0.5 or however big it needs to be for however big you want the selection area to be. And this is when interacted with transmit on channel 1. Now all these buttons are set up the exact same way, except this is transmit on channel 2, channel 3, and channel 4, and of course it's class 2, 3, and 4. Once you have your buttons set up, you're going to need to make your different classes, so this is where we need to grab the item granters from that device category. For the settings in the item granter, make sure it's enabled on game start. You only want the receiving players to be the triggering player, so whoever presses the button is getting whatever weapons are in here. I have clear inventory. If you have a system that already clears the player's inventory upon respawning, you don't have to have this set to clear inventory. You can have it keep all because they might not have anything, but I have it set to clear inventory because every time you pick a new class, you want to get rid of the guns they have and grant them new guns. Which, moving on, grant all items because everything in the class you want to give them. Grant condition always grant on cycle set to no. Equip grant item, it'll be the first item, so whatever order you drop the weapons into the item granter, it will put them in that order into your inventory. Remove item on grant no. Give extra ammo. This can be yes or no. Maybe you just want to throw your ammo into the classes itself. Cycle behavior stop, and of course grant item when you're receiving from 1. Now the rest of the item granter is going to be set up the exact same, except you're just going to correspond them with the channels down here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have my channel set up on 1, 2, 3, and 4, or something to that nature. And just so you guys know, these classes are very simple. They're not at all meant to be free-for-all representation classes. I just threw like a scar in each of them, and then every class I just added a gun. So like class 1 has 1 gun, class 2 has 2 guns. You get it. Now, while the buttons are sending a signal to the item granter to give players those weapons, it is also sending a signal to our random number generators set up over here. Now for the setting of the random number generators, you want to make sure that value limit 1 and 2 correspond to the amount of different spawn locations you want to have on your island. So for me, I have 5 different spawn locations, so my value limit 1 and 2 is of course 1 to 5, winning value 0 doesn't matter. But if you want to have 7, 8, just make sure it's 1 to 7, 1 to 8, whatever you want to have your spawns be. My roll time is instant, so right when I pick a class, it will choose a random spawn to throw me at. So set that to instant. If you set it to 1 second, it will take a second to put you in the spawn. I mean, I guess if you want to delay, it doesn't really matter. You can have different seconds for this section, but I have it on instant. Pick each number once, set this to no, or else it will guarantee you spawn in every spawn location, and that takes away from the randomness factor. So yeah. Award score set to never, so this next part doesn't matter. The score value is the roll amount. Again, it doesn't matter because award score is set to never. I have the zone backwards, but as long as your triggers are in the zone, it doesn't matter where it goes. And of course, length, height, width, it doesn't matter as long as your triggers are in the zone. Visible during game, I did it so you guys can see it when I'm actually selecting my class, but if you want to have them invisible, it doesn't matter. I turn the audio off because it gets really annoying. And of course, these are going to be linked up with our button channels. So as you can see, activate when receiving from channel 1. This one is on. The one above it, of course, will activate when receiving from channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, and so on. Again, the amount of random number generators should correspond to the amount of buttons and item granters you have for your class selection system. Now, looking at the different triggers within the item granters, this is going to be what is spawning me to those those random rift locations. So when I roll the item granter, it's going to have a 1 in 5 chance of selecting one of these triggers, which then corresponds to the rifts over there. The settings for the trigger, I have everything turned off except for triggered by sequencers, because we want that to be on so the sequencer can see it. Remember, times can trigger set to infinite because you want this to be able to work for multiple players over and over again. Transit every 1 triggers, of course. Delay and reset delay set to none. Trigger sound and trigger visual effects I disabled, but have it visible in game so again the sequencer can see it. Enabled on game start, and these are set up on their own different channels. So when triggered, transmit on channel 5 for this one, and I have them set on 5 through 9, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because I have 5 different spawn locations. And when this triggers, it's sending a signal to those rifts. As you can see, teleport to when receiving from 5, and obviously the next one would be 6, 7, 8, 9. So these will correspond with our triggers in our random number generator, and of course their settings, you can customize them how you want. But I turned everything off and made the rift invisible and stuff, and I face the player in the teleporter direction, so when they go there, they're facing a certain way I want them to face when they spawn into the map. And that's pretty much it. Running over it again, your buttons are going to send a signal to your item granters giving you your class, and to the random number generators that are going to pick a spawn. They have a 1 in 5 chance of picking between these 5 rifts for you to spawn when you select a class. So yeah, if you set it all up right and you followed exactly how I did, it should look something like this. So I'm going to go with class 1. It's going to send a signal to that item granter. I'm going to get the weapon from class 1, and then it's going to randomly pick a spot to spawn me. So I spawned on gold here, and you can see if I pick the same class again, I have a 1 in 5 chance on spawning gold again, but I didn't. I spawned right next to it. I can also select different classes. You're going to see my inventory clear, and I'll get a new set of guns, and I spawned on, I don't even know what color this is. This color, and I'll pick a different class. I believe this one only has 3 guns in it. As you can see, it gives me the 3 new guns. I spawned on gold again, so it is completely random. Here's class 2 for you, and I'll just show you. You can see right over there when I select the class, so I'll go class 1, it should be the bottom. You can see that the different random number generators that are hooked up with the buttons are going off when I select the class. So there you see there was the class 3 random number generator, and above that, directly above that, is the class 4. So I'll just go ahead and you can see it's blinking up there. It's very hard to see, but yeah, so everything corresponds, and that is how you make a working class selection system with random spawns. Anyway guys, there you have it, a fully functional class selection system with random spawns. Remember, just make sure that the amount of triggers you have corresponds with your rifts, and the amount of buttons you have corresponds with your random number generators and your class and the classes that you're making. For free-for-all maps and maps like that, this works extremely well. Again, you don't have to have buttons that is sending your signal to your random number generators and your item granters. It can be triggers and you hit the triggers, but if you are making a free-for-all map, I highly suggest having a system like this because it's just efficient and it works really well, really painless, really easy to set up. Anyway guys, I hope this video helped you out, and yeah, this has been Syntax. Later.